Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I brought the beautiful Miss. Introduce yourself.
I'm June Hodge.
Have you watched House of the Dragon before?
I've only watched like the first 2 episodes.
So we're gonna need a recap, and also keep in mind it is 90 degrees in New York. Because I could care about how the audio is sounding, I have turned the air conditioning off and the fan.
She's
so when you
loyal to you all.
When you see us sweating, I need you to mind your business. The beginning of season 1, we have a young Rhaenyra and a young Alicent.
And this is a boy and a girl.
No. Princess Rhaenyra is played by non-binary actor Emma D'Arcy.
Okay.
So they're non-binary, but the Princess Rhaenyra is female.
Okay.
Okay. Alicent is played by, I think, Olivia Cook. But the thing is that there's a time jump. So basically there's them as children versus them as adults. Alicent is a goody two-shoes. She is by the book, she does her studies, she does whatever is basically asked of her. And Rhaenyra is the princess.
Okay.
She is the realm's delight.
Realm's delight.
Yes. She's that girl. They love her. She's so cute. She's precocious. She's charming. They love Rhaenyra. And Alicent, honestly, she's not even jealous. He loves her for it. She's like, that's my bestie. That's my friend.
Okay.
Some people read their relationship, especially because the two actresses throughout the show have great chemistry.
It's your drink of choice.
A Negroni.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Magliato. With Prosecco in it.
Oh, stunning.
Okay.
Some people read their relationship as a little sapphic, as in lesbianic. But in the show, nothing like that has happened. That's just how some people are reading their characters.
Okay.
The one thing that does kind of rub them against each other is that Rhaenyra kind of shirks her responsibilities as like preparing to be a leader and like a ruler. And it's especially bad because obviously Rhaenyra is a woman. So she gets it, but she doesn't get it how difficult it will be to lead when there hasn't been a woman in charge in like years.
You think things are sweet?
Yeah. You think shit's sweet. It's just
it's not sweet.
Shit's not sweet, babes.
You are a woman.
You're a girl child.
Thou art a girl
no
child.
Cock. No cock.
No cock.
There's no cock. So vaguely that got Jamaican real quick. Rhaenyra's mom she's childbirthed out. You know, having a child is obviously still very kind of dangerous now. In magical medieval times of way back when, it was like basically a death sentence. So Rhaenyra in a way is like given so much freedom to like basically do something other than be a birthing machine for like some guy her dad's gonna marry her off to. And I think, again, subtextually, maybe Alicent is a little resentful of the fact that Rhaenyra has all this choice and all this opportunity while she just has like...
Right.
Keep that in mind. Alicent has like no real...
What is her role?
She's one of Rhaenyra's like ladies, or basically like her father. He is Otto Hightower, the hand of the king. So her father's like the king's assistant. So she's just like around the castle.
Okay, so she'd just be chilling.
But her job.
But
is
she's
still to
likely going to be married off and to probably somebody affluent.
Well.
Did I just I just guessed the plot?
So the plot, my lord.
Where's the writer at?
Again, Rhaenyra's mother, surprise, surprise, dies in childbirth, trying to get a male heir so Viserys won't have to name Rhaenyra a girl. God forbid.
Nope.
The heir. We spoke about Alicent having to do whatever her dad said.
Right.
So since Rhaenyra's mom has died,
why do I kind of remember this?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't know if you want.
No, you can.
Wait,
what happens?
I think that she ends up with the king.
Alicent ends up marrying the dad king.
I intend to marry the Lady Alicent Hightower.
Wow. She's also a child.
She's basically like 16-ish when she marries the king.
Whoa.
The king is like...
Does that give her power over... Well, how the tables have turned.
Admittedly, especially in the beginning, Alicent has a good heart. Okay. She's just doing, again, she's the dutiful daughter. She's just doing what she's got to do. Like, what is she going to say?
Sure
Tell
she
her
didn't
dad
want to
no?
fuck that old man, that geezer.
Clearly, but what is a girl to do? She's just a girl.
And this is all she knows. This is her culture as well. Like, you do this.
Yeah, we got an Alicent defender. Guys, don't come for us. At this point, Rhaenyra is still the heir. She's obviously pissed off that like her dad and her
just married my friend, who was also kind of my like
stepmom.
Right hand person, is now my mother step.
So,
the ghetto.
You know, still no male heir. Still, she's the one. Her dad was gonna be like, okay, I don't have a male heir. Maybe I'll give it to my brother Damien. Damien's batshit.
The Vale.
In the Vale, men are said to fuck sheep instead of women. I can assure you, the sheep are prettier.
So they're like, okay, he's not.
This is the white-haired man.
Yes.
Yes, I remember him a little. I remember some sword activities. Yeah.
Yes, and he's sexy in an inbred kind of way.
Yeah, I was like, I guess his energy was sexy. His looks
someone help me with this. I feel like Damien, the character, and also the way he speaks and acts and everything, has Matt Healy from the 1975. They have the same, maybe it's just the accent, maybe it's just the mannerisms. Tell me these men couldn't be related.
You've either got two images in your head, neither are good, both are a penis.
Damien, he decides to take his precocious young niece, he takes his young niece to a brothel. And as she sees the people, the depravity, the prostitutes, like everyone just like honestly fucking in the floor, she's not scared. She's a little excited. Basically, she and her uncle start making out. The only reason they do not consummate their relationship is because he can't get it up.
This turned dark very quickly. So he brings her to a brothel and then Loki seduces her. That's crazy.
Yeah, take a drink every time something crazy happens. She's sexually frustrated because she didn't really, do anything.
I was not fulfilled in my delights.
What she does is basically bed Sir Kristen bitch-ass Cole, who is her Kingsguard. And the issue with this, not only that Christian Cole is a bitch, is that he took a vow of purity. So
that he would never have sex.
Alicent and obviously the king find out they're publicly almost fucking in a brothel, right? Obviously, Rhaenyra's gonna lie about that shit.
Damon never touched me.
She's like, I never did that shit. I don't know why people lying about me. Obviously, Otto, Mr. Hightower, she's telling her dad, he got you to marry his daughter. He's trying to turn you against me. Like
the hand. She turns this on the hand.
So the hand gets sent away from court. There's a rift between she and Alicent because Alicent at first believes her, but then her dad is like, bro, open your mind. You can't, you're grown.
The realm will not accept her, and to secure her claim, she'll have to put your children to the sword. She'll have no choice. You're no fool, and yet you choose not to see it.
And you just sent my father away. You just blamed my pa.
So this put Alicent in like a hard place, but basically she just looks at Rhaenyra like different now. So low key, Alicent didn't say this, but the subtext, it was there. It's like, I gotta fuck your daddy, and you just like run around, fucking do whatever you want. Like, and I'm just supposed to be cool with you. We're supposed to be girls. He time jumps like 10, 15 or so years. Like they're like young adult, like 20 something women now. Clearly still fucking an old man on Alicent's part. Rhaenyra,
is she happy now?
It's very obvious in the early seasons she has never had an orgasm. Like, it's just very obvious. She is very pent up. She is a very aggressive, like...
It's been how many years and I've never had an O. Yeah. That's sad.
She's very bound by duty, or at least some good dick, which we will get to later.
Right.
So, Rhaenyra, again, honestly has not really changed much. So in the time since she's been princess, supposedly married to her gay cousin. Sorry, internet, I almost forgot this part. So Kristen Cole's a bitch because he wanted to run away with Rhaenyra. He didn't just want to be like a side piece to the throne. He like no, I love you.
Take her.
Like, I want you to like, let's go, let's run away together. She's like, bro,
your duty.
My duty. She's like, I am the crown. This is me. Like, I know maybe I'm a city girl and I run around, but at the end of the day, I care about my people and I like want to stay. And he was not having it. He was hurt. He's like, you want me to be a whore for you? I refuse. You think you're better than everybody. That's why you just run around over here doing whatever you please. At the wedding, remember her cousin, because Rhaenyra has to marry her cousin. Her cousin's side piece comes up to Kristen Cole. He's like, oh, you're like me. And Kristen Cole, don't forget, no, like a side piece.
A hand piece.
He is not trying to talk to Joffrey at all. He's like, Joffrey's the other side piece. He's like, I'm good on you. I don't like this family. I'm just doing my job. Right. And then Joffrey's like, yeah, you're doing your job. Like, oh, that job, you doing it? Kristen, he beats that man. First it's just like throwing punches, then he just goes and goes and goes and goes, and he feels bad. He's going to, he wants to end it. He wants to kiss himself. He wants to I can't believe I did that to someone. I let my temper get the best of me. Alicent is the one who finds him, and she's like, basically, no, I know Rhaenyra. She just plays all these games with all these people. It's not your fault.
Not the enemy's clicking up.
So
the ops is
now,
clicking up.
10 to 15 years later, Rhaenyra in a lot of ways has not changed. She found herself a new side piece. Targaryens have white hair and white skin, and Valerians, and her cousin's a Valerian, has black skin and white hair.
Okay, yeah.
Her kids all have pale skin and black hair.
Do keep trying, Selena. Sooner or later, you may get one who looks like you.
Whose children are these?
They bear a really strong resemblance to Harwin Strong, her other bodyguard. Alicent's she's like, one time is an insult, 3 times is an insult to the crown.
Right.
Basically like, bitch, you sloppy. She says that to Rhaenyra's dad. And he says, mind your tongue, because she's still the queen, but he is the king. And that's still his daughter. That's still his baby. The most important thing to know, though, is that Viserys is dying, it becomes just, again, such a scandal. Like, there's questions of secession. Rhaenyra and her family end up leaving the castle. Like, this is too hot. Like, this is too much. Some more time passes, and eventually, let her uncle Damien, remember the one that like seduced her in the brothel? He ends up also marrying one of the Valerians.
He's gonna do her dirty.
Well, she dies in childbirth after giving him a few kids. So there's still like Valerian bloodlines.
They're killing the black one.
They really are. You'll see. Okay, because the king, in a last-ditch effort, he knows he's dying. He's like, listen, I know no one likes that Rhaenyra and also her bastard children are going to like inherit my throne. Alicent, I know you've done a lot for your duty. I know you have a lot to be resentful for, but your hatred and resentment for Rhaenyra, you're passing it down to our kids.
Yeah.
Because you know they've had kids at this point. The fights between Rhaenyra's children and Alicent's children, they call them. Alicent's children calls her bastards. Rhaenyra's kids are just like, don't fucking say that, we got hands. They take out one of Alicent's kids' eyes. Alicent is when she really loses her shit. She's like, you get to do whatever you want. She wants to stab one of Rhaenyra's kids. As someone else pointed out, though, at this point in the story, Alicent, you've been queen for a minute. Viserys is about to die. You've already done your duty by bearing him legitimate heirs. Right. Go get you a man. Get you a nigga. Like, are you okay? Like,
go
nothing
on.
is stopping you from having fun yourself except you.
Have a side piece.
Anyway, Viserys sits them all down to dinner right before he dies. He's like, Alicent, I understand where you're coming from, but please, your hatred of Rhaenyra is spilling into our kids, and that's not healthy. We need a united realm.
Look,
like,
the king was a good man.
He really tried. But Rhaenyra is even like, Alicent, thank you for taking care of my father through his advanced old age. You've been nothing but a tireless, dedicated servant. I appreciate you. And Rhaenyra and Alicent is like, look, I appreciate your spirit and your strong-willedness. I'm sorry I let these differences get between us all these years. You think shit is gonna be sweet next year.
I was like, this sounds very kind.
Here's the thing, though. Viserys is old and very, very sick. As he lay dying, he mistakes Alicent for Rhaenyra, and he tells Alicent, in a weird, jumbly, like morphine-induced state, I cannot wait for your son to become king. He is the true king, and then he dies. Alicent takes that as like, oh, like I
want my son,
our son,
to become the next king.
But basically now there's two claims to the throne. There's Alicent's kid, who is the a male heir, right? And then there's Rhaenyra, who's like the rightful heir, the one that she like was crowned,
right?
You know.
Supported by the king before his passing.
Right. And remember when I kind of mentioned that Alicent passed down her hatred and resentment of Rhaenyra to her kids? When they get to House Baratheon, a fight breaks out. Aegon's like, hey, remember when you took my eye out? Let's fight here. And Lucerys like, no, I'm not trying to do that.
It's been years, my God.
Yeah, he was like bro,
there was time to stab me. It would have been...
Also, even Baratheon is like, yo, not in my house. So they leave.
You need to leave.
On the dragons. And allegedly he was just doing it like as he was just having a joke, he was just having a laugh, but he kept trying to fly his dragon, who's much bigger than Luke's dragon. He kept like trying to sneak, like, oh, I'll kill you, I'll get you, I'll I mean, a dragon, you can't really control a nuclear warhead. You don't play with it. The dragon
bites Luke.
No, he doesn't just bite him, he swallows him up, killing Lucerys Velaryon. The end of season 1, and a brief overview of season 2. Obviously, Rhaenyra is out for blood. She's upset.
And with her own brother.
Right, her other brother, because her own brother killed her son. But it was an accident.
Sorry, I didn't think he was actually going to swallow your boy.
Happened in season 2, episode 1. It's, you see Rhaenyra grieving. She's like, I'm going to be strong for my people. Like, these things just happen. You see Alicent finally get some head from Kristen Cole. She's like, never, we can't do this again. Never again. Like, no, we've done it too much. Too much of you eating my pussy. Can't do that.
Too much. He said, I quite enjoy it, ma'am.
This is my favorite meal. All Rhaenyra says when she gets back to her castle is, I want Aemon Targaryen, her brother. She's pissed. She's crying when she says it. She's upset. Right. Daemon's like, oh, bet. So he goes to King's Landing. Remember, he used to be commander of the Night's Watch. Like the people that like to chop off dicks. He finds a guy he used to know. He's like, what you up to now? He's like, I hate the High Towers. They stripped me of my role. He's like, okay, that's great. Why don't you and some random, get into the castle and kill Aemon, and I'll pay you handsome. He's still a prince, Daemon. Like, I'll pay you a lot of money, more than your miserable little self could ever imagine. Just do my thing. And one of the guys very smartly asked, well, what if we can't find Aemon? Yeah. Oh, and I should also keep in mind, Aemon Targaryen is like a master swordsmith. Ooh, so this idea was like half-baked at best. Yeah. Like if they did find Aemon, which they didn't, and I'll tell you.
What was the plan?
Like,
do y'all really think y'all was gonna you needed to sneak attack?
Really? Like you need to get him in his bed.
He's gonna square up while he's slumbering.
Slumbering is the idea. So one of them smartly asked, "Look, what if we just can't find him?" And then Daemon just looks at him. We don't see what he says, but what happens is they go to the castle. They find Helena, his sister wife. They find her. They find their two children sleeping in their cribs. They're like, look, okay, they're talking to each other. They're like, we can't find Aemon. What are we gonna do? And then the one dude is like, well, hey, Daemon said a son for a son. So he looks at Helena, is like, which one is your son? He has his knife. He's like, no, you tell me, or else I'm gonna kill every one of you. And they behead her baby as she runs, and she grabs her other baby, obviously, flees to her mother's room, where her mother is she's riding the shit out of Kristen Cole. The mom that made you marry your brother is riding some dick while your kids are getting murdered, or your one kid is getting murdered.
Well, she needed it not. Stop blaming these. See, it's all funny games when you're able to marry your brother. There's nothing wrong with that. Y'all probably love each other or whatever. She had to get old dirty geezer for how many years to birth you bitches? Silence! People, right? Get out!
I feel like here's the thing. Online, there's a growing, maybe not so much after this last episode, there's a growing section of like Alicent defenders, like, we're her lawyer, like, they're saying what you're saying, like, it's not fair that like all this responsibility was placed upon her. She was a kid too, and like, she's not the princess. Like, maybe she would do the shit Rhaenyra would do. She would get thrown out or beheaded. Like, you know, she had
that was my other thought, is like, if she was the princess, sure, I can push, like, that's my father and I know he loves and adores me, we have that bond. But like, the wench who married my father, like, you really don't have a say. You could be killed and no one honestly would blink an eye. But I'm saying, like, you genuinely are a random bitch. So why are people mad at her now? Because she was getting...
No, not because she was getting dick. Everyone's like, finally, you're getting some dick. But they're just like, bro, you still on this bullshit. You're still on this, like, oh, because here's the thing, though. So clearly she's been fucking Kristen Cole. Right. She's, like, been living her best life. Like, you're still on this pious religious shit. You're still on this, like...
please don't go back. We love this new you.
But she's only this new her in private. She also allegedly, even when she was being like a pious good girl shit, she was showing feet to get some information from like some spies in the castle. She was showing feet.
Not feet pics.
She was showing feet.
Not royal feet.
She was showing feet. And like, she didn't, I will say in her, she didn't seem like she wanted to do it, but she wanted the information. So she was showing feet and letting man jerky while she turned away.
This is the OG feet pic.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at her.
But she'd be acting like she would never. That's not her thing.
You're like, don't be a snake behind closed doors.
Be a snake in person. Because at least Rhaenyra's upfront with it. She's
like, y'all saw me at the brothel, though she did lie about it.
Yeah. She lied on her mother's grave.
She was a child. She was 16.
She was 16. And what else was she going to do? Tell the truth?
Right, of course I was at the brothel.
With my uncle. Also, by the way, Sir Kristen Cole is commander and technically the best fighter of the Night's Watch. So had he been doing his job and not doing the Queen's job, he might have been able to stop. He's also, again, a great fighter. He might have been able to stop them. Is clearly feeling guilty. She's like, I'm the reason. God is punishing me. I shouldn't have been riding dick. Shouldn't have been getting my pussy ate.
This is what happens.
Yeah. Okay, so clearly the next episode, there's like some repercussions. Otto is very smart, for lack of a better word. Alicent's dad, remember Hand of the King? He's like, no matter whose fault it is, let's say it's Rhaenyra's fault. Because then everyone is gonna support her to be queen. They're gonna be like, you kill babies? You kill like your nephew, your nephew, like...
Wait, and this was Damien's idea.
The Otto's really smart. He's like, yo, we gotta spin this. Just tell everyone Rhaenyra did it, regardless of who, like, we think she did, but regardless of whoever did it, let's say Rhaenyra did it. And also, hey, Helena, sweetie, I know you're like mourning and in shock and everything. We need you and your mom, Alicent, to like wear your mourning clothes and just like sit behind your dead son and just parade, have a funeral procession through the streets into the grand, whatever.
Man is smart.
As they say, never let a good crisis go to waste. We're gonna get the small folks sympathy. We're gonna get the houses sympathy. We're gonna really just like, Otto is like, that's your great grand, like.
Right, he said, I've been banished for way too long.
Kristen Cole, consumed by guilt. So he takes his frustration out on Eric, who's like, your twin, he left, like, what were you doing? Like, how do we know you don't just want to go join your twin? Are you trustworthy? Like, what were you doing when, like, these people were
trying to find a scapegoat?
Kristen Cole's a bitch. For the record, like, that's like, be known, Kristen Cole's a whole ass bitch. Says, listen, you can end this war if you just go to drag where Rhaenyra's at and just kill her. He's like, how am I supposed to do that? That's a murder-suicide. Like, you really hate me
murder-suicide.
Like, what are you talking about?
This is your big plan.
And he's like, no, look, you're a twin. You guys are identical twins. Just go there, pretend to be your twin and just take care of it. First thing the one twin says when he walks in is like, I had no choice. I'm sorry, princess. And then the other twin is like, brother, stop! And they're just like fighting each other. Like, we don't have to. It's like they just fighting.
We can leave.
Like, we can just da-da-da-da-da.
Not a murder suicide.
Basically, the one twin does succeed in like killing his other twin to protect the princess. He's like, look, I can't let you kill her, bro. Like, we were sworn to protect that, like, you know,
his own brother.
And he can't deal with the guilt of killing his own brother, so he kills himself. All because of Sir Christian Cole. Anyway.
That took a turn. I was so dark about the twins.
With that in mind, now you can go forth and watch the rest of House of the Dragon season 3. Season 2, sorry, season 2. So that was House of the Dragon season 1 recap, episode 1 and 2 recap. Do you think you're gonna watch the show?
Honestly, this has inspired me, but we should just do something here, like
we should just do a watch party.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send this to everyone in our friend group, and then do a episode 3 watch party.
Yes, and we can talk about it. I can see the characters in real time.
Yes.
See the energy, because like sometimes you hear like a plot and you're like, okay, this is my thought, but then you see somebody's like actual how they carry themselves, and you're like, actually, I don't fuck with you. I feel like Allison, I'm not gonna like her when I see her.
She's one of those people where it's just like, you know, especially Kirsten Cole is also one of those people where when they really get in their bag and they get that bitch ass look on their face, just like, okay, come off
that little high horse you're on, okay? Can you pipe it down?
Like, you were just getting your pussy ate.
Right.
Like,
now all of a sudden you're
God,
too high
the
and
Lord,
mighty.
the mother, the
like,
serpent.
stop.
Shut up. To the gym. Bye, YouTube.
Bye.